Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode number 54 of the Reverse Sweep podcast. And today, not today, yesterday, or not even yesterday, I think day before yesterday, we got a very shocking news that Virat Kohli has finally decided to step down as Test captain of the Indian cricket team. It came as a huge surprise. मतलब मेरे को नहीं मतलब पूरे cricket world को it came as a huge surprise because when you look at Virat Kohli recently, the comments that he made that he wants to quit ODI captaincy and T20 captaincy because he wants to pay more focus and attention to the T20 to the Test uh, side. And despite losing that South Africa series, there might be few things that might have changed. And finally, we got the shocking news that he's no longer going to be the Test captain of the Indian cricket team. So, personally for me, I think it came as a very surprise news which I didn't expect. But let's quickly jump on to the first reaction on how the reaction was looking at that post made by Virat Kohli. So let's go with Siddharth, who is a big Virat Kohli fan and has been a big admirer of his captaincy. So let's hear from him. How was his reaction when he first saw the news that came out day before yesterday?
So firstly, as was with everyone, even me as a big Virat Kohli supporter and a big admirer of his captaincy, like I was very shocked. Like if you had told me 5 months ago that Virat Kohli would not be captain in any format, not of RCB, not of India, I would have said you're joking. मेरे को लगा था even ODI T20 he would continue till at least the 2023 World Cup. Surprisingly, 5 months later, he is no longer captain. But yeah, I think it is like there seem to be a lot of sad tributes from a lot of people, but I think it is a great move and a move in the right direction for the Indian cricket team. As we saw that now, like against South Africa, against clearly dekha ki we are regressing as a test team, and it is in part due to the decisions Kohli is making, like with the batting lineup. Bowling lineup didn't look that incisive, and like he has been carrying passengers in the batting lineup for such a long time. पहले उसका होता था कि he would chop
including
and change
himself.
too much. Now exactly, now it has gone the other way. I think like as was the case in ODIs and T20s, I think our team needed some fresh ideas, and I think now maybe Rahul Dravid will take a bigger role, and of course Rohit Sharma might as well. So I'm glad to see that, and hopefully, and maybe this will free up his mind and like help him become a better batsman. Like he, as one of the, he himself has been
हाँ
a
उसमें
passenger for
उसमें तो
2
बाद
years.
में आएंगे
But
but summed up
yeah, like
like
reaction,
even
I was pretty shocked, but I think it is a move in the right direction, and I could not have been happier with the news, as shocking as it was. And now let's see what. But one thing I would like to correct: you said that Virat Kohli has decided to step down. I don't believe that was the case because,
वो
as
तो
you said,
कंट्रोवर्सी में अपन लोग
uh,
आगे डिस्कस करेंगे कि क्या हुआ
We'll get to
पर
that.
पर
we'll
लेट्स
get to
लेट्स
that. But
क्विकली जंप टू
I don't
स्मिथ
think he
लाइक
has stepped down.
ठीक है उसमें बाद में आएंगे
but
अपन पर
I,
स्मिथ you were in Germany probably by the time he put out that statement that it was like 11-12 at midnight. So when did you get that news and what was your first reaction listening to that?
I mean, now I don't remember when I actually read the news, what the time, but I didn't know this would go so specific that you would ask the exact time when I read it. But
You saw it in our WhatsApp group, Smith. If you
yeah,
saw
I
it in
think
our WhatsApp.
yeah, I saw it on the WhatsApp groups, and actually I was not online at that time, so I had not read about this. But yeah, I was pretty shocked, and I mean, right now I don't think the timing of it is that. I mean, I don't agree with the timing of the decision. Obviously, there might be behind the scene stuff and mess going on that may have led to this, but I don't believe with I don't agree with the timing of this decision, and I feel that he should have waited for the next WTC cycle to begin before taking this decision. I think that would have been an optimum time. But yeah, I agree that Pujara, Rahane, there was a lot of debate over that, and I don't know exactly if if Kohli wanted Pujara and Rahane in for sure, or it was a selectors. I mean, we can't say for sure. So it could have been either way. But the one thing that was sure was that this Indian team was carrying passenger every time it played a test match. So
Hmm.
it was
So
kind of coming given the best internal best, but I was pretty shocked. Yeah.
वो तो सही है, but I think the most happiest among R4 was Pranav, because he got insider news and he was already at some place partying in Mumbai even during the third phase of pandemic. He's sending photos of partying that Virat Kohli stepped down, so I'm celebrating. So
Mumbai Health Authority को tag करना
so
इस
yeah,
podcast
so
के साथ.
BMC, if you are watching this guy right here, so he was very happy. So just quickly want to understand how happy
Right.
was he hearing that
well,
news.
well, firstly, it is true that I was partying, but I was partying the previous day purely because Novak Djokovic was deported from Australia. So I was partying because of that. And anyway, back to the main point. Actually, a few months ago, not few months ago, last month when the controversy hua tha Ganguly and Kohli ka, I don't know, jokingly or unknowingly, I said, oh, maybe even Malay was involved in that conversation. We said, oh, maybe they'll just take away his test captaincy as a response. And when I was actually going to the hair parlor, and I suddenly my phone is ringing with messages, Virat Kohli quits test captaincy, all the WhatsApp groups are flooded, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's such a big shock in that sense that हार गए मैच and अगले दिन suddenly ऐसे news आया. I mean, at that moment, I thought, oh shit, it's definitely Ganguly or BCCI has done it, and Kohli has said, I'm quitting only as a PR move. That was the first thing that came to mind. But as take a bit of time to absorb the news, it was pretty clear that the decision to leave was Kohli's on his own, and BCCI also has said one thing the two can agree on, that it was not. It was a mutual decision. That is, Virat Kohli told Dravid and the team in Cape Town, and then he told the board. So,
वो तो ठीक है, पर
yeah, वो एक ही अच्छी बात है. But I mean, I think it was a good decision in the sense that if he's not into the game, like he wants to concentrate on batting and he's not mentally in the state to lead the team, so then that's the right decision to take. Just that, as Sid was saying, he said that 5 months में इतना कुछ हो गया है. Literally in the space of few months, Virat Kohli, the sole, you can say, controller of Indian cricket, and now he's just a normal player. So it has happened so quickly, everything.
but then
It's,
it all
hard to
comes
put into
down to
words.
no one is bigger than the country.
Absolutely, I
Exactly.
agree,
And he
I
was
think
bigger than
right.
the country, and
I
now
think
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
nobody.
he had developed a cult of his own, but I think that it could have been handled
We
better,
have
for
discussed
the
this
better.
before that since the
हाँ,
Kumble
इसमें
fiasco,
इस
Virat
टॉपिक में
has
आऊंगा मैं,
gotten his way.
पर
So
उसके पहले I'm just paying tribute by putting my collars up like Virat Kohli for his captaincy. So tribute from my side. But looking at the numbers
I
of
will
Virat
also
Kohli,
put a tribute from my side. Choking.
I'm giving the best example. I'm already coughing thanks to all the chokes from Indian team.
but
और
that all
सारी
is
वो
fine.
parties का
But
effect आ रहा है.
let's come to jokes aside. Let's come to the serious stats. Captain 68 matches for India, won 40 out of those, lost 17 and drew how much? 40, 17 and remaining 11, I think. 11 draws in his whole career as a test cricket captain with a winning percentage of 59%. So when you look at the winning percentage, by the numbers, he has to go down as the greatest ever test cricket captain India has ever seen, because you just look at those numbers, it's far better than what his previous predecessors did, like Dhoni, Ganguly, Dravid, whoever the captain was before Kohli. I don't think so anyone has these kind of numbers. So when you go by these numbers, absolutely, I think he will, if not go down as one of the greatest ever captain for the test cricket side, because some things you have to give credit to him, although he didn't give you any ICC trophies in the red ball cricket, but in the white ball cricket. But when you look at the red ball cricket, I think the cult which he developed in the last few years has been tremendous. So just looking by at the numbers, would you think that Virat Kohli is the greatest captain so far who has captained this test cricket side? We'll start with Pranav.
Right. So undoubtedly, I think the numbers say that Virat is India's most successful captain. And see, if somebody, many people would say that he's India's greatest captain because of the numbers and because we've had, I think, maximum overseas wins also under him, which statistically is true and that cannot be contested in that sense. But just by pure numbers, I would not call him India's greatest test captain. I think the one thing I've always said is that he inculcated fast bowling culture, and we have a good breed of fast bowlers
Positioning.
under him. But otherwise, I don't think he can be called the greatest captain just based on that, because this is the strongest Indian team he has been leading right from the start. And I think at home we have been as strong as ever. He's hasn't lost a single series at home, so credit for that. But we always judge based on the four overseas countries, and unfortunately, only one win, that too against Australia's weakest side. And when we won again in Australia, he left midway, so that credit has gone to Rahane. But losing 4-1 in England, but it was perhaps one of the was the biggest low for me, given how bad that English side is. But now two losses in South Africa, especially this one, has really hurt his legacy, because had he won this series, then it would have been very hard even for the hard biggest Kohli haters to bring down his
Like you.
test captain. Because yeah, including me, I would have also said, okay, if he won in South Africa, there's very little we can do to say against him. But to New Zealand loss is one loss I'll forgive, because we were perhaps not favorites that time, and
Yeah.
they currently thrashed us. But this South Africa defeat last time was a little bit hard to swallow. But okay, that was the first tour, so we can accept sometimes mistakes. But this time around, and as Siddharth was saying, we
Has Kohli
very
lost a
well
home series as a captain in India?
never. No,
No,
I
never,
mentioned it.
never.
Undefeated home series. So that is the bare minimum. But like you said, four countries may
But I
like
was going
England
through some
series.
other records as well.
Will
So
we count the English
I
series as
mean,
win? One
I would count
technically
it
question.
in
as.
the Australia
I
series,
mean,
it was drawn 1-1 till Kohli was captaining. Rahane won the last match.
But still, that
But
goes to Kohli, just like the Rahane Australia thing. But my question
yeah, I
only
think
before
with
I
नहीं,
with
move
रहाणे
on
कोहली
was,
के होने तक 1-1 था ना.
I think
if
2017
we
was.
if yeah, if we win in England, that is, if we win in Edgbaston, will it count as a Kohli series win, or will it count as somebody else? I think it will still count as Kohli, because two of the wins are under his
Yeah, I
If
mean,
captaincy.
he
India
played
win
most
the
of the
series, then it
series.
will.
Yeah, he played like
Okay.
80% of the series. So as
Right.
captain,
So
so
still
so I
only
was
one series win. So I would rate it as his captaincy in tests. I would rate it as average, because it could have been a lot more. I mean, I know as an Indian fan we are very greedy, but given the bowling lineup which we had, and since most of us growing up, I mean, since Sid is much younger than us, he's still seen better Indian sides. But I've at least seen some of the worst Indian bowling attacks, and to see that we finally have arguably the best breed of fast bowlers and not win in South Africa, I mean, that still hurts. So
yeah.
I would say average at best as a test captain, in my opinion.
okay. So
I
yeah. So that is true, but I think calling him average is understatement, because people just tend to always want more, because as the captain of Indian cricket team, when a country of billion people is behind you, the expectations are always higher. But I think if you relatively look at what he has achieved and what other countries have achieved in the same amount of time, I think Virat Kohli deserves that respect of
But is
at
that
least.
really down to
But
Virat
but
Kohli?
let
Like
me
what other teams have achieved? Like other teams' ka talent pipeline is not flourishing at the
that is
like right
another
now.
topic. But
Yeah, but
I
that
was
is
But
something that
I
not
don't
is you
think like
can't.
so
personally
yeah. So
that's
Siddharth, I was
down to Virat Kohli
also
or
seeing that
India's flourishing.
I think he is among top six to, like, in the numbers, to have play most test as a captain, 68. I think um I think he overall in the world cricket, since test cricket started, I think he ranks sixth among the number of matches that a guy individual has captained for his national side. And if you look at captains who have managed 50 plus matches, I think Virat Kohli, I think, has the second best percentage win record after, I think, Steve Waugh, who has some 72%, I believe. So I think Virat Kohli has 58.8%, having captained the side for 50 plus matches. And I think once you look at that record, even the likes of Ricky Ponting didn't have that win percentage when the Australian cricket was dominating. So what? So do you think that calling him average Siddharth is a understatement, and we are ignoring the goods that he has done for the team? Like just looking at the numbers, just basis on the numbers.
I mean, as just on the basis of numbers, sure, but like you can't really like every number has to be taken in context. Like numbers ko you can't judge like that. You can't judge out of context. Like you have to take it within like you have to consider the factors that went behind the numbers. And at the end of the day, like I think rather than win percentage, Kohli had the chance to win a World Test Championship, which no,
I
like a
forgot
lot
that.
serious, which would be the crowning, like tangible evidence of India's dominance. But we managed to bottle that, much like a lot of things in his captaincy tenure. So I think numbers have to be taken in context, and at the end of
But
the day, the
apart from the
context
World
is
Test
that.
Championship, what did we bottle?
But
South Africa tools.
did we?
South
Was
Africa
there any
tools.
single series that we won under Kohli's captaincy where we were not the favorites, where we were not supposed to win? The only I think like Australia वाली जो दूसरी series है उसमें रहाणे captain था. बाकी every other series in his tenure we were supposed to win. We were the favorites. So
But
Yeah, but by
he did
that logic,
won
I mean,
2019
but
में
you
he
can't
did
really
win na in
blame Kohli
उसमें
for
Australia.
भी
that. But you
no,
can't really
I'm
blame
not
Kohli if
blaming
the other
Kohli for
teams
that, but you
don't have.
can't also give him credit that like it's like very hard to judge. But like Kohli was just incredibly fortunate to be have a team that was so good. I think like agar if he really was that great of a captain, he might have won a series where we were not favorites, like South Africa in 2018 or England in 2018. So I think like I think the numbers do paint a better story than it actually is true. I think Ponting did have a slight. Just checking, Ponting did have a slightly higher win percentage.
62%,
So
I think.
Kohli is third
Must
after
be.
Ward and
Yeah.
Ponting.
Kohli is
Must be
fourth
because
Yeah,
actually.
so
they
at the
won
end
I
of
so
the
think
day,
he's
much.
fourth.
even
Yeah.
like we talk about what other countries have achieved, even Joe Root won a series in South Africa, and like there are calls for him to be sacked. And like if there was another contender, he would
But
be sacked.
Joe Root
But
lost
England,
at home.
South
Then
So
got
England is
thrashed.
at
horrible
the
right
end of
now.
the day, वो दोनों एक ही सीरीज जीतते हैं ना in the Sena countries. Like at the end of the day, Root has won one series, Kohli has won one series, and at the
But
end
you're
of the
not.
day, in
Are, but
comparison to other
yes,
Test captains, Dhoni has won one Sena series, Dravid had won one. So like I think that is the barometer we should judge captains by. And I think like I mean, yeah, maybe calling Kohli average is a bit of an maybe up slightly above average, but I do think like numbers jitne अच्छे हैं, that was not the actual story, and I don't think कोई भी और captain होता the numbers would be much worse. Given we saw that जब भी कोहली बाहर था, रहाणे actually performed a miracle in Australia. Then in
With India C.
2017, yeah, with India, see, 2017 maybe the series was evenly poised at 1-1. India had gotten humiliated in the first test. Australia pulled off a draw, and Rahane oversaw to a fairly comfortable win. I think itna hi captaincy ka farak hota, we would have seen more disruption in the times that Kohli did sat out.
Yeah,
In fact, it was the opposite case. We actually ended up performing the biggest miracle in Indian cricket history when Kohli was not there.
that is a valid point which it makes. Like
And
whenever
basically, what he's sorry to jump in. What he's trying to say is that Indian team, and even we have discussed this before, that Indian team is actually on potential so good that a player of Kohli's quality, even if he's not there, it doesn't hamstring the team.
but
Like say,
but let
if
one minute. So
if you
let
take
me.
Joe Root out of the English team, they will even lose to Afghanistan or Zimbabwe. That's
No,
how
no. What I'm
yeah,
trying
impact
to
I would
tell
say.
is,
So
like, people
even
are
without Kohli, Indian team is still good enough.
no. What I'm
yeah,
trying to tell is,
That's what
like,
Siddharth's trying to
no,
say as well.
yeah. But
that I understood. I'll come to Smith as well. But what I'm trying to tell is, if there's a failure, like people tell that without Kohli also we could have won, and but then they put the blame on him as well when they lose or whatever. But I think it should be a equal game. Like
I
when
mean,
you
we
win,
saw clearly
when
second or third test में कोहली नहीं था, कोहली था. People said कि कोहली नहीं है, कोहली leadership 150 के नीचे कभी चीज नहीं हुआ. We saw what
okay,
difference it made in the third
let's
test.
quickly jump to Smith. What is his take on this debate about calling? How will you rate his entire career as a test
yeah, I
captain?
mean, if you look at Kohli as a Test captain, you have to. There are two contexts in which you can look it at. Like you can compare it with past Indian Test captains, and then according to that, he's the best Test captain going by numbers. Yes, because I mean you gave the percentages and all that. But then when you look at the team that he had, I think India should have won in South Africa at least once, if not both the times, and in England in 2018. And that
इंग्लैंड
those
के में
three
हम
th-
बिल्कुल जीतना चाहिए था.
those three defeats were very disappointing, and I agree that yes, at that time you could say that England and South Africa played out of their skins or whatever. But I mean, India was very strong at that time, so I think they
England
should
did
have
not
won.
play out of their skins, though. I just wanted to.
I
I don't
mean,
think that's true.
I mean
हाँ,
to say. I mean, yeah, okay,
and
England
South
probably did play
Africa
out
भी
of their skins.
2018 में भी डिविलियर्स played out of his skin.
हाँ,
Not any
डिविलियर्स साउथ
very.
अफ्रीका में ठीक है, but साउथ अफ्रीका में yes, both the times
2020
India.
was like this one का तो no
20
excuse.
was, yes, both teams. England, kind of didn't play out of their skin, so to say. But I think that,
We just
but still, I
didn't
would say
see
that England gave, Kohli gave India a great pace attack, which is actually a very big plus, and it's even for the future teams, it's a great plus. And he gave attacking batters like Pant a chance to play, and I think those are some things that he really deserves credit for, because no one, I would like say that no one in the past, the Indian captains didn't have the resources or the willpower to, not willpower is kind of the wrong word, but the resources to go for such an attack. And I think Kohli had the resources, and he actually tapped into them, and he brought that mindset into channel those potentials. But I think that what Siddharth said, I think if you are the strongest team, I mean, on paper right now, India is the strongest team, then you will always go into a series as favorites most of the times. So if
जब
you
भी
can't
नहीं
say
थे,
that,
there few series we lost, we
पर
were
कभी
not
भी
the
नहीं थे,
favorite
लाइक
team.
कब हमें ऑस्ट्रेलिया में
साउथ
ठीक है,
अफ्रीका
हमें
2018
ऑस्ट्रेलिया
में
नहीं, साउथ
और
अफ्रीका 2018
इंग्लैंड.
में फेवरेट्स, आई वोंट से कि साउथ
Nah, we were
अफ्रीका
not
फेवरेट्स थे.
favorites then.
Yeah, we were
18
not
में तो
favorites,
साउथ
but
अफ्रीका
we
फेवरेट
were
थे. Had
not
रबाडा,
about South
स्टेन,
Africa. I
मॉर्कस,
think it
सिलेंडर
was
No,
play for the
that
first
and
time.
all is fine. So
नहीं, but I'm saying कि 2018 में साउथ अफ्रीका दोनों favorites नहीं थे, is what I'm saying. But
हाँ,
like, but that's the worst case scenario with this team,
हाँ,
the
मतलब like
kind
even
of team that
an
we
even
have.
series में we should be winning, I would say.
but
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. That South Africa में and England में in 2018 में should have won. 2018,
Or
2021
World
England, I
Test
would still count.
Championship also we should have won.
World Test Championship should have won, and there could have been better ways to prepare for it. And but 2021, I would still give Kohli the credit for that, if you draw or win whatever, because I think that obviously he played most of the matches. So those three, like England, Australia in 2018, and Gabba, I mean the whole 2021 Australia. I obviously the main credit goes to Rahane, but at the end of the day, Kohli was the one who set up the team, so he also deserves
But
some kind
कोहली
of
की टीम तो सारी
an
इंजर्ड
acknowledgement.
थी.
कोहली
वो
की
तो खेल ही
टीम
नहीं
अरे
रहे.
बट ये सब जो प्लेयर्स लिए थे, लाइक अरे बट वो सब
वो
प्लेयर्स
तो
लिए थे और
सड़क पे उठ
सबको
के
लिया
आ
था,
रहे थे.
उसमें तो कोहली का ही सही था ना. लाइक
Smith
ऐसा नहीं
has
कह रहा कि
become
कोहली
like Star Sports in the England 21 series, who was giving Kohli credit for that series win. I think Smith has
नहीं,
become a
let's
Star
I'm not
Sports
saying that
legend.
Kohli gets credit for that. I'm saying that obviously Rahane gets credit for that whole series, because that was something like no one saw it coming. It was impossible, and Rahane was really the main reason why
Kohli
we won, along with Shastri, you
also
can say.
oversaw India's biggest humiliation in the same series, 36 all out.
36 all out, exactly. So yes, that's what
so
I'm saying. But I
And
think that
Rahane is still surviving based on that miracle captain's knock.
no, but
वही.
that is
But
fine. I
Rahane,
think
Anyway,
that
if you look at,
different.
so
Sorry, let's
basically what
not
I'm saying is,
digress.
if you look at the past, then Kohli is the best Test captain for India,
नहीं वो तो
going by numbers. But if you look at what could have been, given the strength that India has, I mean, then India should have won more. But the reason
Like
why
under
we have such
Dhoni,
a strong pace,
we drew against a stronger South African team. Like South Africa at their peak with Dhoni, we drew against them.
हाँ वो भी
Kohli
है,
couldn't
लेकिन
even manage that against much weaker side.
but the thing
Dhoni
is कि
has
हम लोग
only
इतना
won a
strong,
series in New Zealand, correct, and
yeah.
nowhere else.
But the thing is कि
But
जो
he
हम लोग
also
बोल रहे हैं
faced
कि
peak
this,
Australia and peak England. Like England were dominant across the world at that
Yeah,
time.
but
Australia.
we lost 4-1, no, that series.
yeah. But we lost 4-1, yeah. But the thing is कि हम लोग जो बोल रहे हैं कि इतनी अच्छी टीम है, potentials है, that is because of a mindset that has been brought about by Kohli, because उसके पहले नहीं थी ऐसी टीम. So you have to give credit there, because if we wouldn't have the
So
pace bowlers and all
yeah,
that, we would not be expecting
so
India to win in Sri
yeah,
Lanka.
we will discuss about the changes that Kohli brought, but before that, there's been a lot of talking points. Last night, a renowned journalist on Twitter also tweeted that despite despite India's result in South Africa tour, Virat Kohli had made up his mind that he would step down as the Test cricket captain. And there's been a lot of theories that are going on that there's involvement of the selectors or Saurabh Ganguly and they don't want split captaincy, blah blah blah. मतलब इतने इतने ज्यादा rumors है, मतलब हर जन की एक अलग स्टोरी है. पर मैं जो रिलायबल ट्विटर में जर्नलिस्ट को फॉलो करता हूँ उनके हिसाब से तो ये था कि इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द रिजल्ट कोहली स्टेप डाउन करने ही वाला था आफ्टर दिस सीरीज. So let's jump on to Pranav first and on what he makes out of this situation. Could BCCI have handled well, or do you sense any controversy, or do you sense that Virat Kohli lost the trust of the board? What do you think about all this?
Right.
What is happening?
So, as before in our segue, we had said that Kohli had got a lot of power. So, for the past few years, when Kohli first came into captaincy, he was not only captain, but he was also the best batsman in the world. So his form also was, constantly, just reaching different heights, and he had obviously control of the team, and even the board members, used to be a bit scared of him because he got the coach he wanted, and he also got his wishes during the 2018 England tour, like I mentioned. So Kohli was the powerful man at that time, and we had results. Now, post the 2019 World Cup, his form has obviously deteriorated in tests quite significantly, in ODIs to some extent. So,
but just to break you, like,
yeah.
I think in his entire playing career as a captain, he still averages above 54. Like, since
Yeah,
because
yes,
that shows
करियर तो 5 साल पुरानी एवरेज भी ले रहा है ना.
हाँ नहीं नहीं मैं
हाँ,
वही
वही
मैं
तो.
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि वो जो
It doesn't
2014
matter to today.
जो 2014 से 19 के बीच में उसका जो फेज था, गोल्डन फेज, उसमें उसका एवरेज इतना अच्छा था. उसके बाद 2 साल इतना हगने के बाद भी एवरेज इज स्टिल 54. So
Yeah.
the Kohli before
हाँ.
2019 and Kohli after 2019 as a batsman, like, you can just
right.
shocked by the
Right.
numbers.
Yeah.
Right. So at that time, Kohli was, he seemed like an unshakable force at the time. But slowly, as we saw that the team won without him in Australia, and Kohli also, he became a father. Slowly, maybe it felt like cricket was not the most important thing for him, and maybe that also played a bit of a part in his own form going down. And when he announced himself that he's leaving RCB, he's leaving the Indian team, we knew that the ODI captaincy also was going to be up because India has never believed in split captaincy. But the way it was handled, the lack of communication, the board saying we spoke to him, told him not to leave T20s, he contradicting directly what the president has said, and it created needlessly some controversy which could have easily been avoided. I also read that the current board members were not happy with Kohli having so much power, and so maybe all this was done to kind of undermine
And
his power. And I think what's the other thing is Kohli is someone who likes complete control. So I guess once Ravi Shastri was going to leave, and he only had the Test captaincy holding on to, I think he felt that this was the right time to let go in that sense. So from his point of view, and given that maybe he's not in the greatest mental state, it was right. But it's just the manner in which he also has left. Like Sanjay Manjrekar, literally, like he hinted like he's a bhagoda. Literally, like he said, whenever things get tough, he has quit.
In a way, that is true. Like
Yeah, I agree. I can't believe I have to actually agree with that guy because of how
because
repulsive he is.
Kohli also
But
stepped
how
down at a time. There are no great
Exactly, we don't have any
great
replacements.
contenders to
Right.
Yeah.
overtake.
When
उसके
Dhoni,
लिए-
I mean,
was
Exactly.
exactly.
winning
That's why I
series,
said that he should
The
have quit
next-
after the World Test Championship
Next
cycle.
contenders
This
we
one.
will come back, but let's stick to
Right,
the
so
But
I'll
controversy.
just
भाई
finish
मतलब
my last
timing
point.
के हिसाब से मैं कह रहा हूँ कि
Yeah.
timing could have been better. Like Kohli
हाँ वो तो एक
probably
अलग
thought this is the
discussion
best
है.
time
हाँ.
for him.
That
So
is
I'll
that's
just
what I
finish
said,
with
कि timing
my
could have
point
been
here.
better,
What I think is that the way it has suddenly just he's gone in a few months from being the king to being just a normal
Star,
person. I mean, it's just very sad that it's happened
Kohli.
so quickly.
Yeah.
And I feel also it does not reflect well on him in a way that he has himself just given it up so quickly. I wish that the transition had been much smoother, and someone like Pant would have been at least groomed for the Test
And the
captaincy.
last
So I
one
just
memory we will have
if
from
to
his
give one
last test
counterpoint.
will be him
Yeah, 1
shouting
minute, 1
into a
minute,
staff
1 minute.
night.
so I just
Let's
wish it had been
Yeah,
I
we will
just feel
come
this
to
has
that.
been
We will come
much
to that, Pranav. But before
smoother.
that, let's go to Smith. Smith, do you sense any controversy in India? Do you think there's an internal lift between the board and
I mean, I don't need to sense it. It's so obvious that there is something wrong with behind the scenes. But I think the thing is that, yes, like I said before, it should have been handled better. But to offer one counterpoint, which I think Pranav will like, even though it's a counterpoint to Pranav's argument, even with regards to only tests, when Dhoni left, it was exactly like this. It was completely out of nowhere. At least that's what it felt to me, and it was a very like a
no,
total
no.
shock to
So
me.
let me cut short
So I
you
think
here.
that
But also Dhoni had shown the faith in Virat Kohli, and he was clear that he wants Virat Kohli to succeed after
And
that.
Virat had been groomed for
but we
that
did
role.
no,
Yeah.
but
There's
that's
not
the
the
thing is
same case right now.
I
I'm
think his
not
point is कि
I am
इतना
not saying
अचानक
that
से
it was as
ड्रॉ
bad
नहीं
as
करके
this.
he just
नहीं
that's the point.
अचानक से बात नहीं है. मेरा कहने का मतलब है जब धोनी स्टेप डाउन किया था एंड वो धोनी का सेंस पहले से था कि विराट कोहली इज गोइंग टू टेक ओवर एंड देयर वाज
हाँ,
नो सेकंड चॉइस
चाहे
बट
जब
Yeah,
भी
नाउ
होता है,
yes.
it
हाँ
was
तो अभी
clear
भी
You
तो
that
don't have
Virat
that
Kohli
right.
पर
will be the
अभी भी
next
तो
guy.
that see if you look at it clearly अभी भी तो there is mainly only one option रोहित शर्मा. हम लोग इतना
But
speculate
the
कर
guy
रहे हैं
is
कि ये होगा
older
वो
than
होगा.
Kohli, तो like कितना long term contender है. मतलब वैसा कोई
अरे पर
youngster
एटलीस्ट
groom कर
We'll
पाता
get
है
into
हाँ
क्या?
that
ठीक है
later.
that
Let's
is
stick to the
that is a
but
current
different
point.
issue
That
but
but
is
what
at
do
least
you
we
think
have a
about the
हाँ,
contender
back to
right.
controversy should
Ganguly.
but what do you think
and
I
Virat
mean
Kohli
at least we
left on
have
his own or was he pushed to leave this captaincy as well?
I
What do you
think he
think?
was sort of pushed, but I think that at the end of the day, it was his decision. And to
I
be
think it
honest,
may
like
be a bit of both.
I
कि
think that
उसको पता था he may be
it could be
pushed, so
a
that's why
mix of
he
both.
stepped down
Exactly.
before he got pushed.
But I think that contender, अभी रोहित शर्मा कितने long term है, that is another issue. But I think contender है. I don't think it is that
मैं
abrupt.
उसके लिए भी
कि
आएंगे
वो
पर
हाँ
वही मतलब
वही
in short if we have to sum it up like I think it might be both like ODI
it is
हाँ,
मतलब
definitely both.
pressure
It cannot be
yes
only
yes
हाँ,
both हाँ
उसको
side.
लगा
exactly
होगा कि I
There is
might
some.
be sacked soon, तो may as
हाँ
well
so
step
उसने
down
पहले
and like
निकल
keep
गया
his
हाँ
head high. Unlike ODI
exactly
जिधर clear था कि he got sacked.
हाँ
हाँ exactly
तो
yeah
मतलब वही
And
उससे सीख लेके but now coming to the timing of the announcement ahead is the home series which I think even if I wear this jersey and go and captain the
He
Indian
can go.
cricket team
Sid and
Indian
I
cricket
can play in this and we'll
उसका
win
वो
easily.
must
सपोर्टर का
record.
क्या नाम था वो सपोर्टर जो इंग्लैंड में आ रहा था उसका क्या नाम था
Jaro.
जारवो
जारवो
Jarvo.
मैं इंडिया में जारवो बन के जाएगा मस्त and if I also go and captain Indian cricket team for the home leg till the 2023 World Test Championship final, I think we will still win all the matches because we have countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Australia touring us.
And इतना spot on है वो बात और मैं बस वही कहना चाहूंगा ऐसी wins पे that win percentage record is made जिधर जारवो को भी खड़ा कर देते उसका भी 50% win record मिल
मैं
जाता
जारवो से इंस्पायर होके तो
पर
जर्सी
वो
जाऊं कि भाई
बनाई
इंडिया
मतलब
लेग में जाऊंगा मस्त
हाँ वो बात सही है होम में तो इंडिया काफी जीती है लेकिन
होम में
एटलीस्ट
तो लाइक
मतलब
हर मैच
कोई
इनिंग्स में
अपसेट
जीतना
but
चाहिए
लेकिन
but
एटलीस्ट
what
लाइक आई वुड टेक दैट ओवर एन अपसेट विन ओवर टू इंग्लैंड इन
नहीं
2012 लाइक
वही मैं
अंडर
बोल रहा हूँ
धोनी
पर
आई वुड टेक
looking at
दैट
the timing
टेक दिस टू दैट
I think people are telling that it's a wrong time, but I think
या
it's an absolute
it is an
perfect time.
easy time for a new guy to
Yeah,
take over
that is
but the
what
new guy is not clear
I'm
वो
trying
है
to tell. Like
एग्जैक्टली या
people are saying that it's not the right time. People are crying over
it is the
Twitter.
perfect time अगर पता होता कि कोई
हाँ
contender
नहीं पर मैं एक
It is
बार
not the wrong time. It is the wrong time because there's no clear cut
हाँ
replacement.
नहीं
That
नहीं
is
वो
the only
right
issue.
time from a
That is the
schedule
only issue.
perspective, but wrong time from a team के में captain
हाँ
contender
वो मैं उसमें
perspective.
आ रहा हूँ पर what I'm trying to make a point out here is I've seen people crying over King retires or King left captaincy. Not retire is the wrong word, but King left captaincy.
Abusing
वो
Ganguly left, right,
Tribute तो
center.
ऐसे ही लिख रहे हैं जैसे retire हो गया.
नहीं वही मेरा कहने का मतलब है but the thing is if he continues playing for India and if he performs to his best potential I think we should be the most happiest person out there like we don't give a damn about captaincy correct because if Virat Kohli can perform as a batsman I think half of our problem our middle order problem is solved out there because if he can bat to what he was before I think that solves most of the problem and if captaincy can help if leaving captaincy can help him reach to his best heights what he was I think everyone in the Indian cricket fan base should be very very happy with this news also coming to the time point of view I think it might be a easiest time to drop from captaincy because you have home leg coming and you can groom
अगले
the captain.
कैप्टन का 100% विन पर रेशियो होगा 2 साल
वही
का,
मतलब वो groom भी कर सकते हो, but looking at the
फिर उसको
contenders
ग्रेटेस्ट कैप्टन बोलते हैं.
for me, being a Rohit Sharma fan, I still think that we need someone young to lead this team, because with Rohit Sharma already having a much bigger task ahead, 2 World Cups in less than a year from now on, 1.5 years, he has 2 major World Cups to play on, and
maybe a third if he's playing in 2024 T20 World Cup भी.
हाँ
एंड उसकी वैसे ही लगता नहीं कि
तो
इतना संभाला जाता है.
हाँ तो मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि आई थिंक we do have few contenders, but let me ask Smith first, like who would you, like, looking at all the things, who would he choose as the successor of Virat Kohli, and just give us a reason on why he wants that particular individual to lead this team. Like, everyone can have their own view, it's not restricted to the rumors. I want your personal views on who you want to see.
I mean, long term, I would want someone like Pant or maybe Gill to be the captain for a long term. But I think right now, I think the
गिल तो
better
बस
option
तेंदुलकर
would-
का जमाई बन सकता है, अभी कैप्टन तो नहीं
अब
पता.
तो
हाँ, जो
ब्रेकअप
भी
हो गया
मतलब मुझे
उधर भी, वो
लगता
भी
है कि
नहीं बन
उसका
रहा.
ब्रेकअप
potential
भी
है,
हो
लेकिन
गया ना.
Pant is a better option also. Also, Shreyas Iyer, if he cements his place, is also a good option. But ये सब long term है.
But
But
if you want to select one, short term, long term नहीं, if you select one for now, who would it be?
for now, Rohit Sharma. Because at least for the next couple of years,
Okay,
till the World Test Championship final, if we reach,
okay,
and a bit after that, उधर तक Rohit Sharma, I would say Rohit Sharma.
okay,
And then बाकी सब देखेंगे long term.
okay. Siddharth, who would you and why?
I would also go with Rohit Sharma. I think maybe it could be like, I think bas abhi like all the other guys are way too inexperienced in either captaincy or test cricket, or like I think right now Rohit is like right now at the peak of his powers in every format. Bas wahi hai, I think thoda fitness concern hai, given that he gets injured a lot. But like age perspective, so like he has the form, he has the respect of everybody in the team.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true for somebody like KL or Pant. अभी उसको especially अभी कितने, because अभी भी काफी senior players है, जडेजा, अश्विन जैसे. I might have wanted to go with Ashwin to give Rohit a breather, but उसका भाई overseas spot नहीं है. But maybe they could make somebody like Bumrah vice captain as well to groom him for that role if Rohit sits out, which I think काफी बार हो सकता है कि Rohit is sitting out or being rested or injured because he has bigger priorities in the next 2 years. So I think like if they make a clear vice captain with him, be it Bumrah, KL or Pant, and उनको भी regular opportunities मिलते रहे, I think Rohit could be good until the next World Test Championship final.
Okay, so we have two Rohit. Pranav, do you still
Yeah,
go back
so
Rohit?
Pranav wanted Ajinkya Rahane as captain, right?
No, man, please don't.
Last Indian captain to win an away series.
Yes.
Ajinkya Rahane won't even make our Mulund 11 right now, let alone be the captain. Anyway, so back to the thing. So like, yeah, I also think that, see, firstly, KL Rahul should not be made captain because 1 year ago he was not even in the team. Now suddenly he's in the team, and
few months ago, not even 1 year.
Yeah, few months ago. His form is itself, very hot and cold. So I think he doesn't seem to be a natural leader, so he's out. Rishabh Pant is the other option, which I had first thought, but again, the problem is same thing. Until he was dropped from the Adelaide Test, he's just now come back into the team and he now made a great 100. I think he should concentrate on his batting for the next couple of years and let Rohit lead the transition like how Kumble led the transition before Dhoni. The other option is, again, Ashwin is even older than Rohit, but for the next couple of years, we're not going to Sena. So Ashwin could also, for a couple of years, since we're playing in India, then Bangladesh and maybe Sri Lanka, Ashwin could also lead the
championship
team.
final में उसको बैठना पड़ेगा.
That is another. That's the good point. That is the one thing.
तब रोहित कर लेगा ना, एक मैच तो रोहित कर लेगा.
Rohit, yeah. So Rohit seems the logical option because of his experience, and like he said, everyone in the team respects Rohit. And whereas with Ashwin, there were rumors last year that he does not get along with half the team.
Controversial figure.
Yeah, And the thing is,
I
otherwise,
think Bumrah and
Ashwin,
Rohit are probably the two unanimously
because
respected
if
guys,
you see,
right?
Ashwin
I
is
think
the
so.
most. Ashwin ko, in fact, somebody gave him a name as Ravi Chandrayaan ISRO because of how technical he is about the game. So, in that sense,
And Ashwin
Ashwin
is
would
also
make a
very
good
injury
captain.
prone actually. Last 2-3
Yeah,
साल में उसको
again.
काफी injury prone.
Right, but more than Ashwin, recently it's Rohit who's injury prone. His I don't know what's wrong with his hamstrings. He's got hamstrings from Shane Watson, I think. He got 1.5 years ago. He had it. Now again he's had it. So that is the real worry, that if he gets injured again in the middle for any series, what do we do? So
But it's a in great form. So that is a great
obviously
plus.
he's currently India's best batsman in all formats. I don't think anyone will disagree
Yeah,
with that.
across formats, yeah.
India missed him dearly in South Africa. Rohit.
Rohit.
So I think the only best option is Rohit to lead for a couple of years. Yeah, I'm wearing a Rohit jersey, so Piyush, don't flex so much. Anyway, jokes.
Turn around.
Everyone can see Rohit Sharma jersey. So anyway, back to the main point. I think Rohit is the only option just for a short time until Rishabh Pant gets, more experience.
But
I don't want anyone who's not ready to be thrust in so soon, because it's a very difficult job to be Indian captain. Like they say, the Prime Minister's seat and Indian captain, the two most difficult jobs in India. So I would agree.
And you
Rohit
blame
Sharma,
both of them. And you blame both of them day and night.
Yeah.
That is obvious. But Virat is also has gotten white hairs quicker because he's captain. So,
but like I've seen a lot of people wanting Pant to be the next captain, but I just have मेरा मतलब एक सोचने का अलग तरीका है. Like ऋषभ पंत अभी टीम में is a X factor, और मतलब वो जो करता है ना, is very cool, ऐसे मतलब खुले टाइप का प्लेयर है, not much restricted. बट अगर उसको कैप्टेंसी मिल जाएगी एंड टेस्ट कैप्टेंसी दैट टू, तो उसका जो एक्स फैक्टर है ना वो पूरा कम हो जाएगा. एंड इफ वी लूज दैट the X factor from Rishabh Pant, I think we will be in much bigger loss, because I think
that's a fair point.
पर अभी और जो अपने को दिख रहा है कैप्टेंसी में, I think it's between Rohit and KL Rahul. So because I don't see Ashwin playing outside India, but he can be a short term pick till the next WTC. But I think people are underestimating KL Rahul. Like people are judging his captaincy skill only from the IPL, and I don't think so. It should be judged from IPL.
Even in general, वही है कि उसका 2 सीरीज पहले स्पॉट नहीं था, अभी 2 सीरीज और फेल हो.
पर if you look at now,
KL Rahul को नहीं बनना चाहिए.
Do you think KL Rahul with the talent
of everybody?
But do you think KL Rahul's batting performance will go down? I think he's a very class batsman.
We can't be certain. Like, we need to see it for a longer time.
But then we don't have anyone, so longer time.
See, the problem is, if you take KL Rahul as captain, he's still quite young. He's only 30, so it makes no sense. उसको 1-2 साल रख के किसी और को बनाओ. So if you're looking for a long-term option, then of course, in terms of age, KL is an option. But the thing is, he doesn't come across as a natural leader, as someone who,
exactly.
Is he respected by everybody in the team? Like, see, everyone knows his talent. But
नहीं, पर मेरा कहने का मतलब है कि अगर
whole country against 11 guys, come on.
But
I don't think he has a tactical and strategical mindset. I don't know. From what I've seen, I don't think so. In test,
and again, like you're saying, his batting itself is, his form is still, very up and down.
Yeah, so, right now, exactly.
अभी वो 1-2 साल करके दिखाए, then maybe we can consider it.
Exactly.
But अभी तो देखो, वो मेरा कहने का मतलब, नहीं, मेरे कहने का मतलब है, अभी अगर तुमको एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए तो I think there's a choice between Rohit and Ashwin is what I think. We don't have any third option. And then, but if you're looking at long term, I think it's KL Rahul. And I would have said Shreyas Iyer, but the thing is he has not even played more than 2 test matches for India currently.
That's why I said if he cements his place, like if
वो तो बहुत long term है, पर we need a captain currently before the next.
अभी तो क्या पता, अगली सीजन पुजारा रहा नहीं खेल रहे हैं तो Iyer फिर भी
तो वही मेरे
whoever is the captain, please get rid of Pujara and Rahane.
Yeah,
but I think selectors will go for Rohit Sharma. I just have a feeling that it will be Rohit Sharma, because
I think whoever gets rid of Pujara, Rahane should be handed the WTC.
But just my last question, like quickly to wrap things up, will Rahul Dravid have a big say in who he wants as the captain? Because he's a very he comes across a person who who wants to play the style he wants to, because he wants his kind of captain, I believe, right? Because the vibe of Virat and Rahul Dravid might have not matched, like how they operate, because both have a different set of attitude towards how the game is played. And if you look at Rohit and Dravid, because though both are little calm and tactical brains, I think both of them might gel together better than what Virat and Rahul Dravid would have.
I mean, he might
So
have a say in the sense that how captain has a say with, like, voting. It doesn't have a voice, but still has a say. I think in that way, Rahul Dravid might have a say, definitely. Yeah.
See,
I
Rahul
don't
is
think
not
it's a
somebody who's
coincidence
a
also that
vocal person.
One
since
minute,
Dravid has
don't-
come in, Kohli has either stepped down or been sacked from all formats. I think Dravid had a somewhat of a role in that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Maybe for the fact that Kohli didn't feel like he had full power or like full control, which he previously had. But I think Dravid might having an influence might have had a role in that, and I think he will definitely have a sure of his captain.
Right.
so
So if Rahul is going to have a say, I don't think Rahul is the person, at least from what I know and what we've known over the years, to be very firm about his choice on something.
Hmm.
I'm sure
But he is a
Ganguly.
big Ajinkya Rahane supporter, I've heard. They
Yeah,
used to
that
open
is
together at Rajasthan.
well.
who
Let's
Dravid
not
and
talk.
Rane?
Let's not talk
साथ
about disastrous
open
stuff
करते थे.
because already 2022 has started badly for us. But see, I think we have to look at somebody where the coach and the captain can gel well. Shastri Kohli ki अच्छी बनती थी for obvious reasons.
I think KL
Similar,
Rahul and Dravid would probably
yeah,
go well
most
because
people
वो कुछ
will.
नहीं
I
बोलता.
see. The thing is, Dravid की तो सब लोग के साथ बनती है more or less. But the thing is, like Piyush said, Rahul, even when he was vice captain, he used to be a strategic person, and Ganguly was the leader. He was the guy who could lead people, and Dravid was always a tactical guy. And even the ridiculous decision to give Ashwin the ball, Rahul had an explanation behind it. So it means that at least they are thinking something, having a proper strategy in mind. So in that sense, Rohit and Rahul would be a good combination because Rohit is very particular about matchups. We've heard this from Mumbai Indians think tank very often that he likes to bowl certain bowlers to certain batsmen. So as long as the coach and the captain can be in sync regarding the strategy and regarding what they want to do, it should be fine. So and even Ashwin would fit into that mold because Ashwin is so himself tactical. But like we said, Ashwin ka we are saying we don't know. He's also has fitness issues. Rohit has also got, so
उसको
it is
vlog
a bit of a
Ashwin
mess.
Ashwin has vlogs also
अश्विन
to
को भी
take care
अभी
of.
सीरीज में ही आते हैं फिटनेस इशू होम पे नहीं आते तो ठीक है 2
हाँ
साल.
नहीं, पर उसको
तो
उसको
इसलिए
उसको
मैं बोल
व्लॉग
रहा हूँ 2
व्लॉग में
साल
तो ध्यान
अश्विन
देना है
को भी
यार.
बना सकते हो.
हाँ.
So it's not a because see other reason why I'm saying Ashwin over Rohit is that 3 format captain even for 2 years will be again a very stressful job.
स्पेशली विद इतने 2 बड़े वर्ल्ड कप
Right.
आ रहे हैं
And our
and already
first
fitness
priority is
मुंबई को भी
2022
कैप्टन
T20
करना
World
है.
Cup. Yes, 2022 World Cup, 2023 World Test Championship final if we get there, and then 2023 World
And
Cup at
Rohit
home.
is probably our best batsman, all
Right.
format batsman right now. तो उसको हर format में open नहीं करना है. And that like adds up
And
pretty
Right.
and I
fast.
think if he becomes captain, then unnecessary will have to play home series of test against Bangladesh and all, because if he is not a captain, we will probably play Gill, Mayank, KL Rahul, because we have a lot of openers to play, because I think looking
And
at the
Kohli
busy
can make
schedule
it
ahead,
71st century, so he will play also.
वही so that is fine, but just so good discussion. I think the front runners are KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma, looking at how the things
But I would
currently
like to
are.
see Bumrah in like some vice captain capacity. We've seen Cummins
Yeah,
do
but
really well.
again Bumrah
मतलब
won't
long
play
term
much
अभी
home
नहीं.
leg. मतलब वही बुमराह का भी, क्योंकि we need him fit for
हाँ.
World Cup. So
हाँ, मतलब
I
अभी नहीं
Bumrah's
long term की
workload has
बात.
to be managed also. So
yeah.
again, Indian team has accepted the
He even
decision to
said
make
that
Dhoni
like
captain.
that is
BCCI
something
has
he would
never
like
made
to explore in the
tough or
future.
surprising calls. So I don't expect it anything other than a batsman again. So
हाँ, it will be अभी तो KL और रोहित only.
मेरे को तो KL का ज्यादा चांस लग रहा है, but ठीक है, but good discussion about Virat Kohli. So before we end up, just do you want
Let's
to sum
not
up?
end on a whimper like Virat Kohli's captaincy tenure did.
well, I
Yeah, I
have
know.
a nice stat about Virat Kohli, which we can which highlights his captaincy in a way. Like India had only one test win of above 300 runs before, and under Kohli we've had 6 test wins of 300 runs and greater. So that is something which you again cannot take away from him, that he had some thumping
Because वो follow
victories.
on नहीं देता ना, पहले follow on
हाँ,
देते थे, इसको stat pad करना होता है.
but
नहीं,
follow on
नहीं,
in
let's quickly end this pod because he has been a great captain on a happy note. So let me quickly jump to Siddharth on what was his favorite Kohli moment under the captaincy of Virat Kohli. What was his favorite moment?
Like captaincy Kohli, like team captaincy moment or batting Kohli batting?
No,
moment?
where he was captain and he was playing for the team. It can be his batting performance. It can be his, just the winning performance. Anything.
I think probably like I would say Lord's win this year was probably the highlight. Like, and we took the series lead as well, and like obviously it was a great moment, and we absolutely humbled England. There are the few to choose from, but yeah, I would go with the Lord's win. Like win at Lord's is always special, even though Dhoni also did it.
Pranav, you any moment, it can be his batting performance or him mimicking the crowd.
Batting
or
wise,
whatever.
I would say
Actually, it was-
Edgbaston 2018 was probably the best.
Edgbaston,
Right.
yeah.
So for me, batting wise,
team-
yeah, Edgbaston 2018, but also Centurion
Centurion.
2018 was a good one. But I have an unusual moment actually. It is in that same Edgbaston game that when Joe Root got run out, Virat Kohli did a mic drop celebration because Joe Root did the same thing in the ODI game. So Nasir Hussain commented said, Virat Kohli, he does not forget these things. So that is, he's a character. So things like that, and I think Kohli will remember. So that mic drop which he did after Joe Root got out in that game, I will remember that completely.
Yeah.
No
And
matter
he
what.
also said something about after mic drop, which we can't say out loud.
Yeah.
Ben
Yeah.
Stokes.
Ben Stokes is going to write to us that
English
I'm
में
going to
बोला
block
था.
you guys.
But yeah, if I want to like summarize his character, so he was always someone who was very, very, great promoter of Test cricket because people has lost that little bit of love, but he was the front.
One thing I've heard about him is like लोग कहते हैं कि crowds में like people who have gone to see test matches live. I have not personally, but people who have gone to see test matches,
I have seen.
like they say like he's like an orchestrator and the audience is like
I was there in
like,
Bangalore as well for the Australia Test and everything.
That is what I've heard personally.
The thing which I think which I would miss about Virat Kohli captaincy, and which was his highlight throughout the career, was even in those matches when you go for an India match in a Test match, the crowd used to be not that engaging. But after Virat Kohli, I've been to a couple of Test matches. The crowd has been amazing. Like the energy that he gets into the field, it might be look stupid to some people, but I think that was pretty amazing. And throughout his captaincy, he was the front leader till the last match, जहाँ पर तालियां भी बजवाया, सब बजवाया. But whatever it is, people might laugh.
Energy,
but वो
infectious
energy जो थी और एक determination.
But also as a player also you can like you don't need to be a captain to spread that.
You can, but I think a captain doing like just gets the team energized. Like मतलब अगर captain कर रहा है तो सब करेंगे, मतलब वैसे type का. So I think that was pretty much it. And also the Lord's win, I think it was very, very special on how we won that Test match. I think that was one of the biggest wins under Virat Kohli captaincy. I would say like winning at
even
Lord's.
Oval was equally
the
good.
biggest win in Virat Kohli's captaincy tenure came when Virat Kohli was sitting at home, so we had to choose something else.
I think the Oval win was equally good because again we were backs against the wall and
we came after
yeah, 50 years के बाद 50 साल बाद we got a win at the Oval, so that is great. In the two big London grounds we won.
Yeah, and the banter against Barmy Army, like absolutely amazing by Virat Kohli. So in short, I think Virat Kohli did fairly well, changed the whole scale of the Indian cricket team, got the fitness culture into the team. Even as Bumrah was speaking in his presser earlier today about the fitness culture that was lacking in Indian cricket team changed.
Now
after...
Rohit will continue that fitness culture as a beacon of fitness himself.
But Bumrah also, when he was asked about the effect Kohli had on his captaincy, he said that the credit also goes to the person. So,
And Bumrah said, I don't think there will be much change from my perspective.
So in the end, it's good. I think it's good time for Indian cricket team. Obviously, we had to look after Virat Kohli because someday it had to end. However good it was. all good things comes to an end, all bad things also come to the
Some
end.
bad ones also.
But whatever. So I think
Some
I am.
extremely overrated things also come to an
Yeah,
end.
but for me perspective, for me being a good person, I think Virat Kohli had a good stint as a Indian cricket captain, leading us in the
And it
test
would
side.
be nice to see him back to his
Yeah,
best as a
and
batsman.
we hope to see Virat Kohli the batsman, which he was. Like everyone would love
Yes,
that now.
100,
Because,
hopefully a 100 test match and a 100 against his favorite opposition, Sri Lanka. So,
But
let's
if only Rohit lets him bat, because Rohit will make a 300 against all his own favorite opposition.
but good
and he loves that ground as well. So,
But let's excited for the home series, IPL auction also coming up next month. Then the home leg coming for the Indian cricket team after the IPL. So lots of good things coming us as a cricket fan. So let's. I just want to thank Virat Kohli for all the hard work he has put in for the Test cricket team and whatever he has done. And yeah, so
And
that was
thanks for all the memes and jokes we were able to make at his
yeah
expense.
yeah. But that is all fun and banter because
Always, yeah.
that's
Like,
what
मतलब हाँ,
keep the
genuine respect से ही है. I'm
yeah.
saying that.
And Virat Kohli has
Genuine
always
respect.
always been a guy who loves banter, like with even with the
Uh,
traveling fans, or he was not shy to do that. So
Even with opposition.
yeah, even with the
So yeah, like
opposition.
genuine
So
respectfully, like thank you for
yeah, yeah. So
being
that
such a character कि उसके बारे में हम like joke कर पाए. Because
yeah,
there's a lot of characters who don't give you that opportunity because they're that serious or that like boring. Virat
oh,
Kohli was a lot of things, but definitely not boring.
not boring
yeah,
at all.
Even in
yeah,
his successes, even in his failures, he was never boring.
yeah. So that is pretty much it. End of an era for a one era, but good things to come. Also, we have crossed 54 episodes.
The
We are
sun rises after dawn.
yeah, and we are 17 episodes away from that 71st mark. So do like us, subscribe, comment, and yeah, see you in the next episode. Probably we will see you after the first ODI. So see you guys. See, take care and be safe.